New today, a car device that detects blood alcohol content helps courts deal with drunk drivers. A look at the future of last year's legislation targeted at keeping first-time offenders off the streets. Good afternoon, I'm Dan Jensen.
And I'm Megan Bird. Thanks for joining us. First, flu season is striking across the states. We'll show you what's worrying medical officials as it moves across the Midwest. This is the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
There's nothing more regular than runny noses this time of winter. You can add fever, chills, and aches to that list too. But this year, there's a new trend vaccination specialists may say mean more coughs across the country.
With the scare last year with the H1N1, we did a lot of vaccinations last year, and this year we haven't seen quite the turnout.
According to the Center of Disease Control, more than 200,000 people in the U.S. are hospitalized each year for respiratory and heart condition illnesses associated with the seasonal influenza.
Typically here in the state of Nebraska, our peak season is January, February, and March. We have not seen high activity, but it's coming.
Pharmacies around the heartland, such as Kohl's, offer a variety of vaccinations as well as a variety of flu shots. They offer the option of flu mist, which is just as effective as the flu shot in a nasal mist, as well as a pediatric dose for ages 6 to 15 years, along with the season's basic flu shot.
Basically, everybody needs to be vaccinated because, after all, who can take off 2 weeks?
Director of Nebraska Public Health Laboratory and Chairman of Department of Pathology knows the importance of a flu shot.
Anyone who can tolerate the vaccine should get it. The only reason you should not be vaccinated is that you like to get sick. It is one of the most effective public health interventions that we can offer, other than fluoriding your toothpaste.
The Centers for Disease Control report hundreds of thousands of cases of flu every season. Officials say prevention can be as easy as keeping your hands clean.
If you've been dealing with stomach symptoms this season, you're not alone. Officials at the University of Nebraska Medical Center say Omaha has been seeing more cases of gastroenteritis this year than usual. Gastroenteritis is a disease caused by bacteria traveling from human waste to our food. The biggest culprit? Poor hygiene. If you're dealing with the disease, make sure you drink plenty of fluids, but stay away from milk. Dairy products can prolong the life of most stomach illnesses.
Last year's legislation allows courts to put special devices inside the cars for first-time DUI offenders. Success stories across the state may mean new legislation for 2011. Josh Korth shows us the future of interlock ignition devices.
Please wait.
If you're convicted of a DUI, that might become a familiar sound. This is an interlock system which prevents a car to start with any positive alcohol detection.
These units are zero tolerance, so anything over a .02 will actually lock the unit and keep them from starting the vehicle.
Please provide samples.
Basically, it's a breathalyzer that controls the starting of your car. To obtain an interlock system is up to the courts.
What we now have is an interlock system, an interlock program that allows just about every DUI driver to get ignition interlock.
And the systems seem to be doing their jobs.
They're physically unable to drive the car drunk. It's just really effective. Without question, it's the best way to combat DUI. It's the only thing that actually prevents DUI.
So once these interlock systems are installed in your car, you're only allowed to drive to and from work, or if you're a student, to and from school.
This is something that Gage can't quite understand.
You should be able to use interlock for everything. I don't think there should be a limited purpose.
With the new bill on the horizon, an interlock system might become mandatory.
What they're proposing now is if anybody gets a DUI, you're on that for at least 6 months.
6 months that guarantees that vehicle won't legally move without an interlock system. For the Omaha News, I'm Josh Korth.
When an interlock device detects a positive alcohol sample, the offender has more to worry about than just his car. The device will alert a probation officer with the time and location of the attempt.
A new bill aimed at keeping schools safe from secondhand smoke. The Tobacco-Free Schools Act would ban tobacco use in all Nebraska school buildings and at all off-campus school events. State Senator Jeremy Nordquist's bill will be debated in full legislature this week. The Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services reports that only 20% of Nebraska schools currently prohibit tobacco use at all times in all locations.
Coming up after the break, America's calorie consumption is up almost 20% since 1970. With healthier options all around us, why are we still packing on the pounds? Discover what simple diet rules America keeps forgetting.
Plus, the U.S.'s biggest ball game brings people together. But what about those who don't have a place to go? A Salvation Army Community Center reaches out to South Omaha with a family-friendly Super Bowl celebration. Thanks for choosing the Omaha News.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Breathtaking, electrifying, inspiring. Award-winning documentaries produced by UNO Television offer you a window on the history of Omaha and the world. Beginning with the acclaimed 2-hour documentary on the history of Omaha, If These Walls Could Speak, UNO Television has developed a reputation for producing high-quality programs that explore, educate, and enlighten. These outstanding productions can be part of your home video collection. For information about purchasing VHS or DVD copies, call 554-2516 or visit our website at unotv.unomaha.edu.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on the Knowledge Network.
Hi, and welcome back to the Omaha News.
Every year, American football fans make time to get together for the biggest game of the new year.
In fact, it's estimated only 5% of people watch the Super Bowl by themselves. But with the average party size standing at 17 people, sometimes it's hard to make the space or find the cash to celebrate. Adam Hilt was on location at one Super Bowl party that didn't close its doors to anyone and didn't cost a dime. Adam?
Thanks, Dan. 111 million people watched the Super Bowl Sunday. Here in Omaha, some chose to kick back at home, some went to sports bars, and a few even watched the game at a movie theater. But there was one metro area party that was a little different.
As the Steelers and Packers took the field Sunday night for the Super Bowl, the Omaha Kroc Center was preparing for a party like they'd never had before. The Kroc Center invited all 3,000 of their members to attend a party and watch the game in one of their many auditoriums, providing food, fun, and family-friendly activities for all. But the party wasn't all fun and games. Major Todd Thelke, who's been with the Salvation Army since 1984, says there was a good cause behind it all.
We're hoping to raise some money for Haiti to give to some of our relief workers that are over there doing relief for last year's earthquake. Then an event like this, we get to have some fun together, getting to know each other a little bit better and developing some friendships as well.
But one of the center's youngest members has a different reason for cheering on his Packers at the party.
Well, it means a lot because that I get to watch it with my friends and get to cheer them on, and because you can't do that at home because there's not enough space. So.
Now, this is the first year that the Salvation Army Croc Center hosted a Super Bowl party, but judging by the enthusiasm of the members that were present, it certainly won't be the last. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Adam. The Super Bowl is over, and like every year, it's the commercials that we can't forget. 30 seconds of Super Bowl airtime cost almost $3 million this year, and that means many companies can't afford anything but their best. However, some advertising experts are saying many commercials missed the mark this year. One commercial in particular, a Groupon ad depicting Tibet, drew fierce criticism and has prompted an official reply from their CEO. CEO Andrew Mason says the ironic nature of the ad has been misconstrued.
Everyone loves eating, but as the saying goes, too much of a good thing can be bad for you. As obesity numbers climb in the heartland, Anthony Davis shows us some simple things we've forgotten about how to watch our weight.
The Center of Disease Control found nationally and on average that between 1971 to 2004, calorie intakes increased for both men and women, 335 calories for women and 168 calories for men.
Back in the 70s and 80s, there was diet offerings that tried to get people to eat less fat. As a result of that, people, and maybe women more so, were more inclined to eat those lower fat foods that might be higher in carbohydrates.
The CDC may have found that there's a small discrepancy between the dietary habits between men and women, but dietitian Megan Hecker says that it's a husband and wife problem.
If one partner is not up to par or not on team with doing healthier eating and doing weight loss or things like that, it could really ruin the other person's will and desire, and it could really put a damper on them making change.
Healthy eating requires dedication, but keep things in perspective. The occasional fast food trip can be okay.
All food can fit, so I think if having some of those foods on occasion and still watching your portions, you can still get the health outcomes that you want.
For the Omaha News, I'm Anthony Davis.
Nutritionists say the hardest part of keeping a diet is sticking with it. If you're trying to lose weight, remember the results aren't immediate. Another good tip, keep a picture of the body you want on your refrigerator door.
I keep a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger there. A new initiative to get the heartland reading. Metropolitan Community College and Metro Transit are giving away 10,000 new books at 3 Omaha locations this Friday and Saturday. The event, called Books by the Busload, will be at the Urban League on 30th and Lake, the Salvation Army Croc Center on 28th and Y, and Westroads Mall. Books for all ages will be provided. For more information, visit mccneb.edu. Off-season conditioning has drawn criticism for driving kids too hard in the off-season, but there's another side to every story. We ask some young athletes their thoughts on off-season training and get some interesting answers. All this and more in sports.
After the break, you may think summer sports are just for the sunny months, but there are a few ways to enjoy the games you love, even in this icy weather. You don't want to miss this. You're watching the Omaha News.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is where you'll find unlimited possibilities. At UNO, our 15,000 students are learning what they need to know to join the workforce of tomorrow. With 200 programs, students participate in innovative academics and are engaged in dynamic campus and community life. The University of Nebraska at Omaha. Step up to the metropolitan advantage at bmav.com.
Maverick Sports has found a classy new home for football, hockey, and basketball coverage. Classical 90.7 KVNO. For schedule information, go to kvno.org. KVNO, the voice of Omaha's team, the UNO Mavericks.
Feed your brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed your brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.
You're watching the Omaha News.
It's a controversial subject, off-season training for youth sports. Some health officials say it prevents injuries. Some parents say it hurts grades. Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Dan Jensen.
And I'm Megan Bird. The argument is split down the middle. Either off-season training is pushing kids too hard at the cost of their classes, or it's saving them from torn muscles and sprained ankles when the season starts up again. As Matt Thompson shares, sometimes a little moderation can go a long way.
Many say that kids are not active enough, but there may be some that work too hard.
Better be using two hands, get you on film.
I think sometimes the coaches are too hard on us and they make us try to push ourselves harder, and they don't really realize how young we are and how hard we're actually pushing until they see we get hurt or something.
There's a lot of people that think young kids are getting too involved in sports. But isn't it a good thing if kids are off the couch and being active?
For one, it's better than sitting in front of the TV. Keeps them involved, keeps them active. And a lot of the coaches nowadays like to have their kids participate year-round just to keep them in shape. There's a limit. I wouldn't do it, 4 or 5 nights a week, but once or twice would be fine as long as it doesn't hinder their schoolwork and they still get all their studies done.
While many people are concerned with young athletes working too hard, some of the athletes say they enjoy it.
I don't think I'm involved in too many sports because I think they're fun and they keep me in shape all summer and winter long. But even though I get tired when I get home and stuff, I can just take a cool bath and get along.
For the Omaha News, I'm Matt Thompson.
The American Heart Association recommends that children get at least 60 minutes of physical or of moderate activity every day.
With us right now is reporter Matt Thompson, who just shared his story with us. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We heard a lot about the positives of off-season training. What are some of the negatives that come along with that?
Well, you don't really hear a lot about the negatives that come along when you're playing sports, but there's always the possibility that some of the kids could get injured or they could get hurt. There's a lot of injuries that happen in baseball with your arm and the throwing arm. If you don't come about it the right way, you can injure your elbow. But also, besides injuries, you can see their grades start to fall when they're focusing too much on sports. And having off-season conditioning workouts at such a young age, many kids at this age are involved in more than one sport, so it can interfere with their other sports that they're playing at the same time.
What sports do have off-season training? We saw some of the baseball in the story. Are there some others that do as well?
Well, yeah, there's baseball. At such a young age, baseball is the main one to focus on, but there's football. Pretty much every sport has off-season training, but baseball is probably the most important because this is when young kids build their fundamentals of baseball, their pitching, their hitting, their running. You can't really learn these things during the season because there's no time. There's games almost every day, and the off-season is the time for people to get ready for the season.
For all the parents that are out there who may be watching, what are a few important things to remember if your kid is going to be playing sports?
If your kid's going to be playing sports, it's important to remember to keep it in moderation because at such a young age, the kids can get a little overwhelmed and maybe work too hard and then be burnt out on the sport, and then they won't want to play it anymore. So you got to make sure that they're not going every night to go work out, but they need the workouts because obesity is a problem and they enjoy doing it, but don't push them too hard is basically the problem.
What surprised you the most covering this story?
What surprised me the most is when I went into this story, I thought I knew a lot about baseball, but when I got there, those kids, they know everything, man. I expected it to just be a slow practice. They were doing drills. It was just awesome to work with them.
Matt, thanks so much again. For more information on healthy off-season training, you can visit kidsource.com, mayoclinic.com/tweenhealth, or fitnessandkids.com.
If the cold months leave you longing to get out and stretch your legs, you're not alone. John Schreiner shows us 2 ways to bring a little bit of summer into the icy metro.
Winter in Nebraska makes it difficult to enjoy your favorite outdoor activities like golf. So where is this? It's Beyond Golf, and they've brought the summer swing indoors.
Just being able to swing the club through wintertime. I mean, a lot of people will have to pack up their golf bag and not even try to look at it for 3-4 months.
Rather than greens fees, they charge by the hour to rent a simulator. For about $35, you can play some of the premier courses in the world, and you'll find some things you wouldn't find at a regular golf course.
Watch TV, so don't have to walk or do anything.
If you're looking for something a bit more up-tempo or more competitive, an indoor soccer league can provide plenty of both.
That's you, Ted. Get in there!
When soccer fields are covered in snow, playing outdoors is nearly impossible. This indoor facility provides a haven from the elements. Just don't expect anyone to take it lightly.
I've grown up with soccer. I love doing it. It's something that's sports specific for me.
Leagues are available for everyone from kids to adults. Co-ed and over age 30 leagues also run year-round. The average cost is about $40 per player. So whether you're swinging the sticks or streaking past defenders, your summer activities don't have to die when the days get shorter. For the Omaha News, I'm John Schreiner.
For more information on how you can get involved, check out beyondgolfomaha.com or otwsoccer.com.
The UNO Mavericks hockey team is pushing to sell out Quest Center Omaha this weekend. The goal is to sell nearly 16,000 tickets for the Mavs' Friday game against Wisconsin. The team has set up a website for their goal and are running ads across local radio stations and billboards. If you're going, make sure to give yourself time to get down there and find parking. Last year's sellout attempt didn't succeed, but it did get close. The largest demonstration in Egypt since the protests began 2 weeks ago, plus 2 churches burnt to the ground by more than 1,000 members of an extremist Islamic sect in Java, Indonesia. Coming up after the break, we've got all the international news you need to know.
Think piracy is a thing of the past? An Italian oil tanker in the Indian Ocean is captured by Somalian pirates. All this after the break. Thanks again for choosing the Omaha News.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor, actor and public television supporter, encouraging you to become a fan of UNO Television. Located on the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus, UNO Television is a unit of the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media. Student crew members are trained and placed in broadcasting positions that give them real-world experience. Many students move seamlessly into jobs within the local television market. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network on Talk 17.
Only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information on issues that really matter to Nebraskans. Watch Consider This, a program produced by UNO Television to give you more information than your typical newscast.
If you're an Omaha kid feeling tired and slow, here's the numbers you ought to know. Eat 5 fruits and veggies every day. Drink 4 glasses of water, okay? Eat 3 foods from the dairy scene. And just 2 hours in front of the screen. Now take 1 hour to move around. And that's the Healthy Kids Countdown.
For games, ideas, and other fun stuff about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Visit livewellomahakids.org. But don't stay long.
A new wave of intensity in Egypt's 2-week uprising. Hundreds of thousands of Egyptians rally in Cairo's Tahrir Square. They're protesting President Hosni Mubarak's plans to step aside from his presidency in their September elections. Protesting Egyptians say they want him gone now. The latest wave of outcry is likely inspired by the reappearance of a young Google executive leading the resistance. 3 days ago, he was captured and put in secret detention.
More than 1,000 members of an extremist Islamic sect burned 2 Christian churches and attacked another in Java, Indonesia. The riot sparked when a man was sentenced to 5 years in prison for handing out leaflets that allegedly insulted Islam. Indonesian police say the crowd thought the sentence was too light and began to storm the court. The Ahmadiyya sect is labeled deviant by the government in Indonesia, but is not banned.
An Italian oil tanker in the Indian Ocean is under control of Somalian pirates. An Italian Navy spokesman says none of the 32 passengers is injured. The ship's cargo has an estimated worth of more than $63 million. Hot property for the pirates, who are currently guiding the ship toward the coast of Somalia. Somalia has had no central government since 1991, making it an attractive destination for international thieves.
Trouble in Latin America. Hundreds of indigenous Brazilians are protesting in the capital against construction of a hydroelectric dam planned to be the world's 3rd biggest. The protest follows a petition opposing the water project signed by more than 500,000 people. The Brazilian government responded to the petition but says it doesn't change their plans. Some environmentalists say the dam planned for the Amazon River basin will harm the world's biggest tropical rainforest. Brazilian Energy Minister Edison Lobeo says construction will begin soon.
Thanks again for choosing the Omaha News. We'll be back here every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Until then, we want to know what you think. Visit our new website at theomahanews.com or find us on Facebook. You can get an inside look at how our reporters found their stories.
And find more stories that our reporters covered. Have news tips, story ideas, or just want to let us know what you think? Email us at youromahanews@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
From all of us here at UNO Television, have a good night.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is where you'll find unlimited possibilities. At UNO, our 15,000 students are learning what they need to know to join the workforce of tomorrow. With 200 programs, students participate in innovative academics and are engaged in dynamic campus and community life. The University of Nebraska at Omaha. Step up to the metropolitan advantage at bmav.com.
Find your inspiration with Classical 90.7 KVNO.
Feed your brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed your brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.